was out of town, sharing a dream with anyone. She's made it through heaven, she's made it through hell. It's just another story to tell. Have you ever felt you're missing the dream? Have you ever wished your life was like the movie on the screen, filled with heartbreaks and fights through Hollywood nights, making up a bar queen on the phone in the great big boulevard, the place she belongs. It's just another story she tells. Have you ever felt you're missing the dream? Have you ever wished your life was like the movie on the screen, filled with heartbreaks and fights through Hollywood nights, through Hollywood nights, through Hollywood nights. You always looked after me, brother, when we were children. You always had my back. You took all the blame when our father caught us doing things that drove him mad. Through the years I could lean on you when I messed up. I'd call you in the night, but I broke too many promises and we split up. Though I still need ya, you gotta save me now. I'm slipping so far down, it's only you I trust to set me free from this. I don't know how I got into this awful spot. I don't know where it ends, so I can use your helping hand tonight. I wanna say that I'm sorry, I got sidetracked and I left you in the cold. I've seen your side of the story, I felt the drawback. My mistake took its toll. Finally, I have realized I was dead wrong. I wasn't thinking straight. No more lies, and from here on out I'll be better, 'cause I still need ya. You gotta save me now. I'm slipping so far down, it's only you I trust to set me free from this. I don't know how I
From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. Hey yo, heart of a villain beats hard in the centrifuge. Bearded BP, 100 interviews. All it takes is 2 mics and 1 line. This is Bearded Villains podcast worldwide. Driving cross countries, getting ball tires. Fam across ponds, always inspired. Chapters connect, and then it's on fire. Check your phones, this BV is like a live wire. They said that we couldn't do it and that another could. Never underestimate the power of brotherhood. Every bro, every chapter, every caption. Heart of a villain, bro, lights, camera, action. Action, action, action. Let's go. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Thursday night. Another Thursday night edition of The Heart of a Villain, the podcast and live stream devoted to the Bearded Villains Worldwide Brotherhood and the lives they are changing all over the world. Boys and girls, we are here tonight with episode 144. 144. Today, just if you haven't checked your calendar at all, it's July 21st. This month has flown by. This whole year really has flown by, it seems like. And it's already July 20. I mean, gosh, the summer's going to be over before. We've already got back to school sales going on. They've been going on for a bit now. And, man, kids are going to be back in school before too long. I don't know where this year has gone, but we are here to talk about some really, really cool stuff here on episode 144. Wow, cool stuff, guys. Okay, so let me tell you what we got on tap here for tonight. We are going to be talking. We got 2 interviews coming up. We're going to be talking first with JD from North Georgia. And North Georgia's coming in strong right now, and they are coming out with their event to raise money for veterans charities. He's going to tell you all about it. It's called the Dawg Days of Summer. You guys have heard me talking about it. The Dawg Days of Summer, DAWG. I just love saying it. Dog. After this week, I'm going to have to figure out something else fun to say, but because it's going to be done, and I won't be able to say it again until next year. But the Dawg Days of Summer, talking with JD about that. And then also, we are going to get to know a brother from down in Miami. We're going to get to know our brother Ray from Miami. And the cool thing is, his story is pretty cool, number one. But number two, he's going to talk to us a little bit about a contest that he is now a finalist for. And many of you guys already know about this, but no matter if you're listening to this on a standard podcast platform or you're watching live tonight or you're going to watch a replay within the next few days, there will still be time to help a brother out because the voting doesn't end until August 5th, I think he said. So we're going to get into all that stuff and talk about the impact that it could potentially have. You'll hear him talk about this contest that he's a part of and what it's all about. And we're going to learn a little bit about another brother that's not been on the show before. So very cool stuff with this episode 144, man. We're gonna be hopping. We're gonna be hopping all over the place here. Also, we're gonna bring back a segment of the show that's been gone for a little bit, just because I wanted to. I know it sounds funny, but hey, that's the way things go on my show, right? No, you guys know how it is. I want to say hi to the bros hanging out with us here live tonight. I want to get my scroll wheel going here and say hello to all the people hanging out with us live on YouTube. Now, if you're here with us live and I don't know it, I thank you for being here. The only reason I can't see you is because you're not in the comment section. So if you want to enjoy the conversation was really cool. Is it always starts 2 or 3 minutes, 10 minutes before the show even goes live. And everybody's bouncing off and talking about their day and really cool stuff. I love the conversations that come in here. And I don't even have, the conversations can even start live in this chat before I even click the live button. So It's always fun for me to pop in and see who all's here before we even start up. So let's say hi to Rababa. Rababa, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, as Rababa always tells us. Yes, it's early morning over there for him. So thanks for being here. Mr. Silky Smooth, how you doing, Seth? Good to see you here. Congratulations on your villain receiving today. Ed is here with us as well. How you doing? Ed hanging out with us. Frankenbeans is with us again, as he always is. Mr. K-Mac-B-V-E-N-C. He knows how I love to say that name. Hanging out with us as well. Wayne, Mr. One Feather, good to see you here as well. Mars is hanging out with us from up north. Actually, I don't know. Is he still up north? He was doing some business down here in the States this week. I don't know if he's back home or not, but he's hanging out with us either way, which is good to see. Mr. Buddy Griffith. Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. David, how you doing? Hanging out with us. Brothers from Western Australia. Hey, we love to see it. Love to see it. I don't even know what time it is over there right now. But good to see you here. Mr. Forge, good to see you, and congratulations to you too, sir, on getting the villain today. I love that picture of him sideways on there. I'm not sure if that's purposeful or if he just hasn't figured out how to fix it, but it fits his personality to a T, so it's awesome to see. Joker, Mr. Joker, good to see you. I'm happy to hear that you ended up getting your power back, and look forward to seeing you soon, buddy. Let's see who else. Ray is hanging out with us. Hey, he's going to be here with us tonight. I know that JD's also hanging out with us live. Ray's going to be. We're going to be hearing from Ray in just a little bit. Let's go through and finish up here. Bearded AF Vets. What's up, buddy? Good to see you here. You know I've got to call you by the name I see you. I know we've had that conversation before, though. It's what pops up here. Don't make me do the math. Mr. Ramsey is also here, as is Radar. Good to see you. And hey, Radar's better half. We know her. Nikki's here hanging out with us as well. Donnie is here as well. Boy, we got a lot of people hanging out with us tonight. Good to see you guys. Thanks so much for being here. I really appreciate it. If you are here for the first time, I will say this because I know that there's a couple of you that are here for the first time. Make sure that you click that subscribe thing over there on YouTube and the little bell thingy, because then you'll be notified and reminded, because not everybody can remember that Thursday nights this is going on. But if you subscribe and then you click that little bell thing, you'll get a notification that the show's going live and you can get over there and listen to it. So absolutely, absolutely. Make sure you get that done. All right, guys. Well, as we move forward here, the first thing we've got to do, and I hate that when this happens, I really do, but we've got to take it. We're all excited, and it's a great episode tonight, and I'm really excited for it. But we got to start out. We've got to start out kind of on a somber note. And our brother over in Ukraine, Jamal, shared information with us earlier this week that was just kind of like a total gut punch. And anytime we lose a brother, it's very sad, and we don't always know the circumstances of it, but it's never easy. And I did not have the pleasure of knowing this brother, but Kareem, and I'm not even sure if I'm doing justice to his name, a brother from Ukraine. And as you can see here, there have been posts, there have been pictures posted on Instagram and every place else honoring him and his sacrifice. But I had a short message conversation earlier this week and then again today with Jamal, and he wanted us to know that the Kareem was an incredible guy, an incredible brother, kind, and he said he was always ready to help his brothers. And serving in the current war that is going on, that we've been sending our prayers for the whole of Ukraine and all of our brothers that are affected by that, and Kareem even more so, obviously. But Jamal shared with me that he died returning from a mission. He died returning from a mission during in the war, and his, I guess his vehicle ran over a mine or something like that. So I just want to give a shout out, give prayers, send good thoughts to all of our brothers who knew him, all of our brothers in the Ukraine chapter, and Kareem's friends, family, and everyone else that's known him. What he leaves behind, we'll never be able to measure that, but hopefully we can remember him. And so I want to take a second to honor him. Thank you guys very much. Rest in peace, brother. All right. Never easy to come back from one of those. Never easy to come back. But it's absolutely necessary, I think, for us to honor. This is a show about the bearded villains, and it's important for us to honor the lives of those that we've lost when something like this happens. So I want to move on to what we normally do here and try to pick it up a little bit. We normally go through onto our merch and to chapter information real quick. There's not a whole lot of merch that I've got, but I do want to share what I do have and a little bit of chapter news, and then we're going to move on forward here, boys and girls. So let's get into our chapter merch. All right. So first off, big shout out to our brothers. I think this is the first time I mentioned this last week. 3-Star Villains. The 3-Star Villains have a X Factor they just recently released. Logo shirt and 2 different versions of hats. These are available at 3starvillains.bigcartel.com. 3starvillains.bigcartel.com. Shirt is from $15 to $27, a wide range depending on your size. The hats are $22 to $25, and the patch is $13. Again, available at 3starvillains.bigcartel.com. Moving on. Hey, don't forget, Utah, they're raising money for their 501c3, guys, so we need to help them out. UtahVillains.org. UtahVillains.org is where you can get this patch. Very interesting and cool patch that may not be around much longer. You never know, right? But this patch here is special because not only does it help our brothers get their 501c3, but it's glow in the dark. Yes, part of the thing is glow in the dark. We don't see too many of those out there very often. Get out there and grab the Utah patch for only $12. All right, next up, Montreal. They have their Montreal Highland Games patch. Very, very interesting patch because this thing actually has the tartan, I believe, of Montreal on it. And so it's woven into the base of the patch. And it looks like you just stitched a patch off of part of a kilt is the appearance of this thing. It's really cool. Available at MontrealBeardedVillains.com. Next up on the board, we have Puerto Rico. That's right. Joker shared with us earlier this week. They have a new black and white patch. A black and white patch for $15. Available by paying through PayPal. I know some of you don't like that, but make arrangements at beardedvillainspuertorico1@gmail.com through their PayPal address. $15. Help some brothers out down there. Bearded Villains Puerto Rico with a new take on their patch. And then finally, what I have just came up in the last couple of days here, Bearded Villains Central England coming out strong again with another set of patches. You can buy the patches individually, but why would you want to do that? This is the Joker collection. It's available for 45 pounds. That's not bad, boys. 5 patches, 45 pounds. It is all of the different characters that have represented the Joker over the years. And it comes with a limited edition card and all sorts of stuff. 45 pounds, man. Get it. bvcentralengland.bigcartel.com. And those are our chapter merch items. Okay. So as we scroll through, I just want to give a shout out real quick to a chapter who's hosted an event several weeks ago, but they just recently posted, I believe, that I saw for the first time some chapter news that they had. regarding the amount that was raised from their event. So let's give a shout out to our brothers at Smoky Mountain Villains. They have announced that they were able to donate, as a result of everybody helping out at Knox Villains, $11,600 to the East Tennessee Autism Society, to the Autism Society of East Tennessee. $11,600 going their way, thanks to Smoky Mountain and everybody who participated in Knox Villains. Love to see that. All right. So, hey, that was that, right? We got through that pretty quick, pretty easy. All of our chapter merch and chapter news. I'm hoping that we don't have anything that I've missed that's crazy in any amounts right now. But, okay, so before I get into the meat and potatoes of this episode, I was kind of struck this week. You know how I am sometimes, boys and girls. I get into my head, and I see something, or I come across something, or I end up down some YouTube rabbit hole of videos. And usually this happens late at night, and I get into my head, and I start, you start to think about things. You have those deep thoughts, or at least what you think. At least what you think might be deep thoughts, right? So I want to talk about two different messages today real quick, as I bring back the 3 inspiring minutes. So this will be really quick. Bring back this little episode here, this little part of the show, this segment of 3 inspiring minutes, and we're going to talk from the perspective of 3 inspiring minutes from quotes from Kirk Douglas and Lin-Manuel Miranda. And so the first one that I want to bring to our attention here is a quote that came out a quote that once was said by Kirk Douglas. And I love this. I love this. I read this and I'm just like, yes. And I love it. He said, in order to achieve anything, you must be brave enough to fail. In order to achieve anything, you must be brave enough to fail. And, we've talked so many times on this show with some of our guests, when I've gone off on some tangents about things, talking about, we all have that thing, that idea, that dream, that goal that you keep close deep down inside, and it weighs on you. It's deep. It's something that's deep in your soul. Maybe it's a job you want. Maybe it's something that you want to create. No matter what that thing is, that thing that you have, I think sometimes we're almost afraid to tell other people about whatever that thing is within us, for fear of being judged, criticized, ridiculed, told that you could never do it. And I love those words. In order to achieve anything, you must be brave enough to fail. In order to achieve anything, you must be brave enough to fail. And I take words like that to heart because everybody has experienced this thing in our life when you wanted to do something, right? And somebody told you no, or somebody said that won't work. This podcast is a perfect example. Long ago, when I first had the idea of the podcast, several people told me people have tried it and it's never worked. I said, no way. I'm going to do it, and I don't care if I'm the only one listening. This podcast. What was another thing? It was my film. The film. I'm still working on it, and it's not going as fast as I hoped, but I'm still at it. I'm chiseling away. And I also, some of you guys know that that I have ideas for a book down the road. So whatever that thing is for you, keep that in mind, and remember that you need to keep those words in mind. In order to achieve anything, you must be brave enough to fail. And the other thing that I came across this week, this quote by Lin-Manuel Miranda, talking about legacy. And the reason that I wanted to include this is you're going to hear one of our guests tonight, Ray. We kind of tip our toes a little bit into the topic of legacy and why it's important. And so I came across this quote by Lin-Manuel Miranda. It says, legacy. What is legacy? It's planting seeds in a garden you never get to see. Wow, I love that. You can tell he's a playwright, right? Legacy, what is it? It's planting seeds in a garden that you never get to see. It's funny because the older I get and the more time that passes, like many of you, I see my dad in me. I see myself in my kids. When I close my eyes and imagine the person I see in myself, the person I see in the mirror isn't always him, right? In my head, I'm still 15, remembering those days back in driver's ed when I was first trying to learn to drive a car. I still have those images like they're just yesterday in my head. They're so vivid. I remember it when I was 18, going to college for the first time, and I look at my kids now that are that age. I can still remember the smell and the way that the dorm room felt when I first got in there when there was no air conditioning. In my head, I'm still 23 on my first job, my first day as a police officer. And my oldest son now is just months away from when I was the age I was when that happened. So as you think about legacy, I think it's, your legacy is not something you should spend every day thinking about, obviously. Rather, you should spend time trying to make each day count. Telling people what they mean to you, constantly learning from other people, and striving to make other people's lives better. That's what we're about. It may not have always been what you're about, but that's what you are now. You are planting the seeds of your life right now, saying, I was here. And later, when those seeds do bloom, well, they do so in part because of what you said and that you were here, that you were a part of their lives. So that was more than 3 minutes, guys, but it's important. It's so important to take stock sometimes. And what are we here? What are we doing? What are we doing? And not focus so much on the now and the failures of whatever it is, but see things for what they can be and push forward. So there it is. Those are my 3 minutes that turned into 6 or 7 minutes for the day. But I appreciate you guys taking a few minutes to listen to that garble. But you know how it is. Some days I just feel like I need to talk and get some of that stuff out. All right. We are on episode 144. And this weekend, down in Georgia, the North Georgia Bearded Villains have the Dawg Days of Summer. The Dawg Days of Summer. And here today to tell us a little bit about this event is JD. So I hope you enjoy my interview with JD, talking to us about the North Georgia Bearded Villains and the Dawg Days of Summer. Okay, my first guest this week is the captain of the North Georgia Bearded Villains. This weekend, they have an event they've been preparing for some time, and you guys have heard me talking about it. It's the Dawg Days of Summer. That's right, DAWG, the Dawg Days of Summer, coming to you with the North Georgia Bearded Villains, your host. Today, talking with me is JD, telling us all about what North Georgia is up to and what everybody can expect from this event this weekend. JD, how you doing, bud?
I'm good, brother. How you?
I'm fantastic. This is so good to meet you and talk to you and learn a little bit about you guys, the chapter, and man, this event that I know you guys been working your butts off to prepare for.
Brother, it's been crazy. It's been really wild. It's been a good time. But it's been hectic.
I can imagine. I know we've talked a little bit off the air about how, preparations and everything like that, but can you talk for a second? I mean, what life has been like for you guys as a chapter down there, coming off of the COVID year and then rolling into preparing for this event and all that prep work has been for you guys?
Well, actually, I think the idea came to us during the COVID year, but it was one of those things that was just said in passing and really didn't have that much merit at that particular moment. But everybody was kind of stagnant, and I'm just as guilty as the last man, but it put us in a position where it was time to either get everybody motivated and start making something happen, or just let everything kind of malinger around and get stagnant. And nobody in the chapter wanted that. So it jumped into, let's start making this happen. And one thing after another, the guys have really been working their butt off. We have a whole little planning committee. And the guys have really have been hitting home runs. So I'm proud of where my guys are at. I'm proud of the decisions that everybody is making, and I'm proud of what's happening right now. I can't wait to see what happens from the event.
Yeah. Now you're calling this thing the Dawg Days of Summer, and I love that because it's perfect timing for a name like that. I like the incorporation, being that you're Georgia. It just kind of seems to fit. But what all do you guys have planned for this weekend for everybody that's coming into town, man?
Well, Friday will basically just be our meet and greet, our meetup, getting everybody that's in town that night, together, and hopefully getting brothers that we haven't seen in a while out there, and some newer brothers that we haven't met yet. So Friday night's always a good time because you just get to hang out, basically shoot the shit.
Yeah.
So you can't beat that. That's, good quality time. And then Saturday is going to be a little hectic. It'll be, 1400 for the flag shoot. And then all of my guys get together to get, tables set up and get the actual event space ready for everybody to arrive. So for us, it's going to be work, work, work. For everybody else, I hope that it seems, flawless and kind of flows. But, we got the guys from Operation Rally Point out there, so they'll get to see what we do, and they'll get to see how we link up and take care of each other. So that'll be great. We're going to have a couple live auctions for some really cool merchandise. I believe that we're actually auctioning off one of our chapter rings,
Ooh.
if I'm not mistaken. So, and there's only one of those outside of our chapter right now.
Wow. All right, that's big news. That's big news.
Yeah.
'Cause there's my chapter. We don't those things stay in house. We're afraid to let those things out, man.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. Well, let's take a step back real quick. For everybody that's coming into town and everything, where is your meet and greet on? Where's everything being held? Like what city, town, or where are you guys going to be located?
Everything is going to be at Slowpoke Brewery in Lawrenceville, I believe. Hold on just one second. I don't want to lie to you. It is 407 North Clayton Street in Lawrenceville, Georgia. So it's going to be downtown Lawrenceville.
Okay.
And it's a pretty big facility, so we're going to have a lot of space for everybody. So Friday we'll have a run of the bar area, and we got some food trucks that'll be outside ready to feed everybody before they go crazy. And then Saturday we'll have another different set of food trucks that pull up. So that should be interesting. Brother, it's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be different.
I will say this about the food truck idea. Some of the most successful events where people felt like they got everything they wanted food wise and everything have been at these events where there's food trucks, because not everybody's waiting in line at this one place to get all the food sent out of one kitchen. You just, whenever you're hungry, you go to a food truck and you get it. And so I think that's a great idea right there, because people have options, and then they have options on, when to get it and everything like that. And it's not this grand inquisition to be able to get food and then wait for 45 minutes and hope that you get it. And
Yeah.
and I've experienced that too. There's been times you go to these events and you're just like, well, I'm hungry, but it's going to take forever to get some food. So I'll put my order in and I might get it Tuesday, but
Yeah.
so, and that doesn't necessarily make those events bad, but if you just have to prepare for that and make sure you're not going in hungry.
Well, that's that's one thing that we were trying to avoid. We're trying to do it in a space where everything is pretty much within walking distance of the venue. You don't have to really travel too far. Once you park your car, you're pretty much in a comfortable space, and you don't have to worry about where you're at, whether you're in a good area or not. Like, it's a really good area. The people down there are really nice, really polite, really respectful. So it's going to be a comforting thing where people understand that they don't have to be on guard. They can relax and be themselves. So that's a big thing too.
Yeah. Southern hospitality at its finest. That sounds like
That's it.
that's the name of the game. Um, so I noticed you guys just posted again. A few of your guys have been posting some stuff about the event, the poster you guys put together, and it shows the meet and greet on the 22nd, the main event on the 23rd. There's a beard comp, and it's looks like is there 4 categories for the beard comp then?
Yeah, we're doing natural 6 and over, natural 6 and under. We're doing a freestyle and a kids um, category.
Yeah.
So this time we're going to give the kids a run and let them see, let us see what they can come up with. So this is all about having a good time.
Yeah.
Like, enjoy yourself, don't worry about much, and hoping that we can have a good show for Operation Rally Point. You know, this is one of those things that's bigger than North Georgia. Um, we have an opportunity to help a group of veterans out in a situation that most people don't understand.
Well, can you talk for a second? I know Operation Rally Point. Can you talk for a second about what this organization is all about?
Yeah, absolutely. Operation Rally Point is a veteran-based organization that kind of helps in the transition from military life to civilian life. They help with veteran homelessness, veteran addiction. They do actually take calls from the VA crisis hotline. So it's an organization that's out there actually trying to do right by your veterans.
Wow. Yeah, that's so badly needed. So badly needed.
I'm gonna start crying.
Yeah. Well, it's we see it way too often. And even now, when we've reached this, time in our life in society where we'd like to think that we're not taking our veterans for granted, but whereas we, the citizens, might not be taking them for granted, it seems like too often there's just not enough programs. There's not enough help. And there's not enough to make it. Shouldn't be hard to get things done as a veteran. It shouldn't be hard to, go and get your doctor's stuff figured out and get your medical, all the medical needs figured out. It shouldn't be a grand inquisition to do that. You should be able to just get it done. And I cringe when I hear about all the problems that our veterans have from, getting benefits, getting, health care coverage, getting all that stuff taken care of. It just drives me crazy.
I realize, see, as a veteran, watching my brothers go through the issues that they had with the VA, that it's absurd. It's absolutely absurd. So organizations like this that are out there actually trying to do right by your veterans and actually trying to put veterans in places in their life that are better than they were at when they were in the military, so it's a strong backbone for an organization to stand up and fight for somebody else.
And I'm glad you said it that way. It is. It's fighting for those that put themselves, put themselves in front of the line of fire and stood up and, said that I will do this, and the amount of respect that you have to have for these people. But then, there are some organizations out there I know that work for veteran benefits and different things, but it's the ones like Operation Rally Point that they don't just do the bare bones. They don't just say, well, here's some money or here's this thing. They work to try to improve the lives, not just let them carry on. And
That's it. They don't
big
just
difference.
they don't just try to put a band-aid on the situation. They try to absolutely put these veterans in a situation where they don't have to want or worry. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where you can sit back and look at what's going on and just kind of turn a blind eye, or you can get involved and try to make a change.
Yeah.
You know, I think that we've all chosen to make a change part in life now, which is great, but it's time to actually stand up and make that change. You can always bitch about what's going on in society, but unless you're actually willing to stand up and do something positive in a negative world, then you really have no right to bitch. And these guys are absolutely, they I can't find a better organization to stand behind.
Yeah. That's very well said, man. Very well said. And you said that there will be some people from Operation Rally Point there at your event this weekend.
Actually, two of the judges for the beard competition are from Operation Rally Point. So yeah, I also believe that we're gonna have some guys from GI Garage, which is a Gwinnett County veteran owned and operated garage that actually holds meetings for veterans once a week. They do barbecues and stuff for the veterans, and they help teach them how to work on vehicles so that they have a chance to get out and find a job that actually financially will support them and their families.
Wow. That gives me chills, man. I love that. That's yeah. Yeah, I'm great. I'm so grateful that there's organizations out there that do that.
To me
And
too, brother.
it's yeah. Uh, you can go on and on about it, and every one of our veterans has a different story, and they come from different backgrounds, and they come from different education levels. They come from different walks of life all over the place, and so some of them may be prepared for a life outside of the military, and many of them may not, and they may not have a skill set that they can provide for themselves and for their family, after leaving the military. And for groups to be out there that can say, come on over here, we'll
Yeah,
give you something,
yeah.
and we'll prepare you to be able to do that. That's awesome.
It just gives you a little bit of hope in humanity, you know, that there are people who will not let these men and women fail. It should just make your heart feel better.
Yeah.
It's one of those situations where instead of it being a dog eat dog world, it's, hey brother, I may not be able to make you rich right now, but I can give you the tools and the opportunities that you need to stand on your own 2 feet and battle this by yourself. No, we've got your back. So if it doesn't work out right away, don't worry about that. We're not running away from the situation. We'll be right here. We can stand 10-toed and shoulder to shoulder and figure this out.
Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly. I can't add anything to that at all. I just, I'm excited for what you guys are doing this weekend now. And I can't wait to, hear how things go and hear how well it's received, especially from the Operation Rally Point people and then there's the other organization that's going to be there to help out as well. And just to witness what you guys are about and to maybe start this new partnership moving forward where, you guys will have this connection where you'll always be there for each other and see where things go from there.
I really just am absolutely humbled to have an opportunity to help an organization like this. So this is that one shot in life that you get to prove yourself to yourself. I think this is where we're at in that situation, that it's time to stand up and make sure that everything you were talking about is something that you can make happen. And why stand idly by and just watch that opportunity pass when you can actually jump in? And hey, the water may be a little bit deep, but it's nothing that you and your brothers can't pail out and get the situation right. So, yeah, I can't wait to see what happens. This is one of those things where a lot of people have put a lot of time into it, and they will not let it fail. So, um, yeah, this is going to be an amazing thing.
Well, I'm excited for you, man. I know it's going to be a blast. Is there any kind of secrets or anything that you can avail yourself of that that you can give us a hint to? You don't have to spill all the beans about any kind of fun or secret thing that people will be able to see or purchase or buy. I know you mentioned something about the possibility of a chapter ring becoming available in an auction.
That chapter ring is one of those things where it was a hard decision to make. You know what I mean?
It almost hurts a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Just to know that there's one floating around out there. We have actually one of the brothers in Puerto Rico, Ricardo, the Bearded Kitchen,
Mm-hmm.
has one of our chapter rings. But he's an amazing brother, and he's basically an honorary North Georgia Bearded Villain. So, yeah, he's family.
Yeah.
But this was a tough decision. This was one of those things where you're like, all right, you let anything else go that you have. I donated a skateboard that I had printed, that had been locked on it, and it said the perfect shot across the top of it, and underneath it, it was printed by Perfect Skateboards. So there's only 10 of those that I know of that exist,
Ooh.
and I've given 9 of them away. So
Jeez.
this one was one that I was holding on to just for keepsake,
Yeah.
but we're gonna let it go too.
Wow. Well, I mean, sometimes that's in the end, that's kind of what you do these things for. I found that sometimes you hold on to a special patch, or you hold on to something, some item that you have from your life that may hold some value to you or some memory to you, but you just kind of wonder what in the end, what am I gonna do with this thing? And you realize that some good can come out of it possibly, and it's time for you to move on from it, and it's not always an easy decision, but sometimes those donations that we make to our own chapter are some of the coolest things you can do.
Well, that's I looked at the skateboard on the wall and I was like, all right, we're doing this for veterans. So I have something that's veteran oriented that a lot of guys would really enjoy having hanging on their wall. And I was like, it's been hanging here for like 8 years, 9 years. I've looked at it every day. So let's see if somebody else will enjoy it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So we'll see what happens. I can't predict the future, but I know that there's a lot of chatter out there.
And it's funny. You may end up with a brother that, one of your own chapter members that ends up with that thing. And then, he just kind of, hangs it over your head every time you see him. Hey, anytime you want to come over to the house and see that thing, you just come over and I'll let you have a look at it, you know. And
That's exactly the kind of chapter members I
yeah,
have too.
yep. Yeah, we both got them that way. And I know some that would just like purposely take a picture of it. Yeah, here's this new home. If you want to come see it
Yep.
anytime. And well, and you never know. The chapter ring may, you know, I don't know if you have any chapter members that don't have that currently don't have a ring, but that's
We do.
a lot of times those are the people that end up, okay, I need to get one. I need to get that, or they don't have that version of the ring or something like that, or it's an older ring and they're like, nope, I'm not letting it out of the chapter at any cost. And hey, more power to them and goes to charity. And that's an awesome thing to see.
That's it. I can't, I have some really, really awesome chapter members right now. So I can't wait to see what happens and how they bloom out and what they turn into and how this chapter evolves now based on the opportunities that have been presented to us. So this is just one step in making something great.
Yeah.
So I can't wait. I can't wait to see what happens.
I love the outlook, man. I love the way I love your thought process there, and I love how you're thinking about it. And hey, you got a few days left to just kind of jab them a little bit there and say, I'm hoping this thing doesn't leave the chapter, boys and girls, because
right.
This if it leaves the chapter, it better leave the chapter for like $2,000. But it's
right.
anything less than that, it better stay in house, boys. Just give them a little pressure. Give them a little pressure. Well, buddy,
Right.
JD, I'm so excited for you. I think you're headed in so much the right direction, and I love hearing the heart that you have for this, and that it's all about service and it's all about helping others, and when you've got that, man, I mean, you're going to succeed no matter what. It's awesome.
Oh, brother, I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I really do.
Well, keep me posted for sure after the weekend's over. Like I said, I wish I could make it, but it's the downside to going to too many events. I just can't make them all. So you know how that works.
I understand.
I understand. I hope to see you before too long at one of these other events that we'll meet up at, I'm sure. But for now, man, just have a kick-ass weekend and do all sorts of good stuff, and just keep me posted.
I absolutely will, brother.
All right. Well, it's good talking to you, and tell everybody good luck, and have just an awesome weekend, man.
Yes, sir. I sure will.
All right. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, brother.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
All right, guys. JD, they are pumped down there. They are ready to go. They are ready to go. Anybody that's going to this thing, Dawg Days of Summer. Couple things he pointed out there. What an amazing organization, first of all, that they're raising money for. But if you're going, did you hear? There's a couple chances there to get some pretty rare stuff in some auctions. A chapter ring. They don't come around. There's only one outside the chapter, he said. So, hey, I don't know if they're taking phone-in votes or not, but who knows? Maybe they'll take a online auction, a vote from an online somebody that calls it in. I don't know if you're. I know a few ring collectors out there that might be interested in doing something like that. But hey, you never know. Reach out to them and see if you can do a live phone-in vote. I don't know, phone-in auction. Could be interesting. Could definitely be a first of. We'll see. Maybe they're. But if they're smart, they'll just, limit it to people that are live there at the thing. Let them have the chance for it. But, yeah. Well, good luck, GD. I hope you guys have a really successful event. Our next interview guest tonight is our brother from Miami, Ray. And this was really cool because I love it when I get to interview somebody and talk to somebody for the first time. This is the first time I've actually had a chance to really talk to Ray. And, get to know him a little bit. So this is kind of like a get to know Ray a little bit, but also he tells us about a contest that he entered on behalf of himself, but also his chapter, the Miami chapter down there, the Bearded Films Miami. And this, pay attention to what he says when he starts talking about the why he chose to do this and the type of contest that it is and that he's now a finalist for. if you're live here on the show right now, I posted in the comments section, I pinned it, as a matter of fact, in the comments section, the link, the direct link, so that you can help vote for him. I also can tell you that, and I mentioned this in the interview as well, but I can also tell you that on the chat, on the Instagram chapters, or on the Instagram stories for the show here, for the Heart of a Villain, and also for Miami, and also for Ray, I think they have links for how you can vote. And incidentally, Ray, if you follow his IG, he actually has a direct link where you can click on it. And it's literally just, it's not like some of these votes that are out there where it's hard to vote for somebody. It's literally one click, and then it brings up the vote page. You find his picture where his video is, you click on that, and that's a vote. So it can't get much easier than that, truly. It really can't. So I want to play for you the video, or the interview that I had with Ray, and it was such a cool thing to get to know him a little bit, and can't wait to see him in person sometime soon. But join me and enjoy this interview with Ray. Afterwards, everybody get out there and vote. But for now, here's Ray. There is a beard, benevolent, fancified, it's a crazy contest that's going on in the world right now. And we have a guest this week that's going to come on and talk to us a little bit about this contest that has the potential to give his chapter a whole boatload of money if we can push him forward and get him to win this thing. But I also want to take a few minutes out to learn about this brother. From Miami, we're going to welcome in Ray to the show. Ray, how you doing?
What's going on? What's going on? Happy to be here.
Dude, I know we've already had like 25 minutes of conversation before we started recording this interview, man. I'm so excited to see this thing pop up and get shared. I know we've already shared it within my chapter to tell everybody about this, and I don't want to put the cart before the horse too far. We'll get to the contest in just a minute, but Ray, tell everybody a little bit about yourself. Like how did you find Bearded Villains, and what's BV Miami been like for you, man?
All right. So, to a lot of guys, I'm sure I look like a brand new face, but I've been around for the past 7 years. I'm one of the original members of the Miami chapter. And BB, I stumbled upon it by mistake. Somebody started tagging me in pictures thinking that I was part of Bearded Villains back in 2015. And then I started looking more into it, and it was something interesting. It was something that I really hadn't seen around the world. So I decided to just jump right in. They told me that there was a Miami chapter that was just getting started. They literally had just received their seal, I want to say about like 2 months before I joined. So they were looking for active members. And I messaged Danny, and from there it was, 7 years down the line, I'm still around, and, excited more than ever.
Yeah, I would be too, man. Because you have become, I mean, through the 7 years of existence of Miami, you have become one of the leading chapters that have kind of shown the way. And really, I think, if memory serves, Miami was one of, if not the first, to really push this whole charity thing, and what the possibilities were for what a chapter could do. Was that one of the driving forces that kind of led you toward what Bearded Villains Miami would be?
Yeah, in all honesty, we sat down after our first flag shoot. I think we were the second chapter or third chapter to do a flag shoot. We sat down, we're discussing different things, and we felt like if we were going to come together, why not come together for the betterment of the community? I feel that that's something very important, and something that a lot of us held near and dear to our hearts, and we still do. Even the original members that are still around, that's one of the things that we've always honed in on, giving back to our local community. A lot of us have kids, so leaving some type of legacy that our generations after us can look back and, see that, man, my dad was a bearded villain, and, he did a lot of great things in the community. So that's one of the things that we discussed during the process, and seeing from when we discussed it to where it is now and the stuff that we've done in the past 7 years is humbling. And, you know, it's awesome. It's awesome. And becoming a nonprofit 2 years ago was one of those goals that we never thought that we'd be, actually an official nonprofit organization.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a huge step. And what it can do for how it can help you as an organization and really impact your community. It's kind of limitless, really, with having that in place. I know you spoke for just a second about, you mentioned legacy, and it's kind of funny because that's one of the things there's going to be a little bit mentioned in another part of the podcast for this week about legacy a little bit, but so the timing of that couldn't have been any better for you. So I appreciate that. But when you think back to life for you, life before BV, and then life after, your post BV journey, what if has there been like, something or some part of that journey that you can touch on and be like, this Bearded Villains being a part of Miami has changed my life for the better because of being a part of that?
Yeah. A lot of us joined the Brotherhood for the brotherhood aspect of it. I know a lot of guys are vets, and they're always looking for that camaraderie that, that they had while they were serving. And a lot of us just in general are looking for an escape from the norm or the craziness of this world. So just having the backing of, we're 45 deep now, and knowing that, if I'm ever presented with a problem or some type of issue, whether it's emotionally, financially, or physically, that I have 45 guys that I can depend on a consistent basis. When before it was, I still have my core group of friends. My best friend is part of the Bearded Villains. I kind of like pushed him into it because it's something, we've known each other for about over 15 years. So I was like, dude, if I'm going to be doing this, and this is one of those things where I'm in this for life, brother, you're coming with me. I'm going to drag you right in.
I love that.
So, yeah, so it's one of those things where, no matter the stuff that we go through, before, it was one of those things where it's not that you felt alone, but you didn't have 45 guys that you can reach out to, or at least one of those 45 guys that you can reach out to, that you kind of have that same camaraderie. And it's more than 45 guys that you can reach out to, because it's a worldwide thing. There's guys that I've built relationships with in the past 7 years that, we don't talk every day or every month, but, whenever there's something that they post or I see something, I check in on them, just to make sure, hey, how you doing, brother? Hey, hope everything's good. The family's good. And that's one thing that I feel like was missing before, that type of connection with the world, or with just different people from different backgrounds.
Yeah.
So that's definitely one thing that I can see that has definitely changed from the time from before to now.
Yeah. One of it's so perfectly said, because one of the things that I've said that I love most about Bearded Villains and being a part of such an incredible group is that it makes you go out of your comfort zone a little bit to learn about other people. It doesn't make you do it, but it affords you the opportunity to do that.
To do it, yeah.
And to hear and talk to guys that you normally wouldn't talk to, that have varying backgrounds, varying cultures, people that are in other countries. And that's one of my favorite parts of it as well. And like I said, I love that you said it that way. if you looking back, and I know this may be kind of a difficult question because, like you said, your chapter is one of the most active, and I know there's things I try to keep track of, especially the ones that are really active, because people ask me questions sometimes from the podcast. Hey, did you see what these guys are doing? Or did you see what and there's a lot of stuff that I miss out on seeing from different chapters, just because they don't post about it a lot of times, the smaller things. But looking back on all this time with Miami, have there been a couple of standout moments charity wise, that not to say that they're more important to you than others, but they just kind of stand out as maybe an example for what the Brotherhood can really do, what Miami can really do for the community?
As far as like us doing something or seeing someone else from.
Yeah, like things. I mean, experiences that you've had being part of the Miami chapter, and things that just kind of stand out that you just be like, this is a perfect example of why it's so important, and this is a perfect, that kind of a thing.
Yeah, definitely. I want to say our first charity event, our first. None of us knew what to do. We were all looking around and we were like, man, but once we were able to raise, $5,000 within, I want to say, a month and a half, we were like, man, this is easy in a way. It's something that none of us had ever experienced. None of us had any experience with charity or even raising money, or even, I never did fundraisers at school. My mom would always tell me, hey, listen, don't bring those chocolates. Please don't. So it's one of those things where, looking back, our very first one kind of made that impact where, okay, we can do this. We can definitely do this. And on a bigger scale. And that's what we've always pushed, from our very first one to, becoming a nonprofit, and then honing in on, basically setting the standard for us as to what we're looking for, what we want to do, how we want to make that impact. So literally our first one, our first Make-A-Wish 7 years ago, that definitely got the ball rolling.
Yeah. And that was if I'm not mistaken, and maybe I'm running another one of yours together with something else, because you guys have done so many. But if I'm not mistaken, wasn't that one of those that they didn't even know that you were going to be? They didn't even know, the recipients of this didn't even know about you guys.
Yeah, they didn't. It took us a little bit, because what Make-A-Wish does, they ask first, obviously, but for the most part, I want to say about 75 to 85% of the time, whoever's raising the money really doesn't get to meet the child or the child's family. So, after a couple months of actually, once we raised it, we reached out. We were like, listen, we'd like to, be there when you guys present everything to them. And off of that, we built a relationship with the family, with Matthew's family. And it was something that was truly humbling, especially once we had our local media get wind of it, and they did a whole story on us, being able to do that. That was awesome too, because it gives us exposure and it gives us networking powers, which this brotherhood already does, because we're able to reach, all corners of the world. But being able to be featured on the local media, I feel like is also very important, because that way the community knows, hey, listen, we're here to do good. Yeah, you see us around the streets, you see us hanging out together, but as intimidating that, as much as, as scary as we look, in all honesty, we're here for the community.
Yeah, you guys have definitely proven that time and again. And it's funny, I have harped on this for a while now about the fact that by promoting what you're doing as a chapter, be it in the media like you guys have been able to do, or just simply out in the Instagram world and Facebook land, you know, to show people what you're doing. It's not about bragging. It's about furthering the message about what you're doing. And I think sometimes our chapters they kind of miss the ball a little bit, and they're afraid of that I don't know, misconception that we're trying to brag. And it's not about that. It's about, look, we're furthering what we do and what in our community, and the people who are these guys and what are they all about? And you never know what, and I'm sure you guys have experienced it too, where you never know what kind of connections you're going to get from people seeing what you do on something that you did before.
Yeah, we've rubbed, elbows with commissioners, mayors, and it's not to say, yeah, we've made it or anything. It's not that. It's just building that relationship that, if we're working towards a cause and it's something that we need, why not do it? It's for the betterment of the community at the end of the day. We can't lose sight of that. That's one thing that I feel like you said, it's not about bragging. It's about establishing relationships and networking relationships where, at the end of the day, it's benefiting someone or a community. So,
yeah, very well said. And it's funny too. The importance of letting people know what you are and what you're about and who you are, because it's very easy to see the group of bearded villains anywhere, in anywhere USA, see them out and about and have a misconception about what they are, what they're all about, just because of the appearance alone. And I always laugh when I see the pictures of, the people out there, the chapters that are out there doing like the roadside cleanups, because everybody has to wear the vest. And I said, every person that's driving down that highway right now is like, oh, there's the prisoners out there cleaning up the road again. It is. So it's important to let people know, what bearded villains are and what in your case, what the Miami villains are all about. And I think you guys have done such an incredible job with that. Over the years, it's just awesome to see.
Appreciate it.
So to that end, man, tell us a little bit. I want to mention real quick what this, if I can get my screen up here, online. Now I just have to mention the description that I found about this. There's a contest I alluded to earlier that you are up for, and it's from the company Wahl, Wahl, which is a men's grooming company. They make trimmers and all the groomers and all that stuff out there. Plus, I'm sure a whole bunch of other beard care and grooming care accessories and whatnot. But there's a contest out there, folks, called Benevolent Beards, and it says the Wahl Benevolent Beards contest started this past April, with the quest to discover guys who are making the world a bearder place to live. The goal is to reward bearded men who are doing good through their charitable efforts. And, hey, I think that describes right now everything that Miami has been about for a full 7 years. And Ray, tell us a little bit about this contest. How did you get involved in it? How did it become part of your life, man?
Yeah, so a couple months ago, I kept seeing pop-ups on my social media. I had seen it a couple years ago where they were looking for, they do this every year. Last year's theme was Talented Beards. And then this year's popped up on my feed, the ads, and I was like, oh, Benevolent Beards. Looked it up because a lot of people don't know what benevolent beards are. um, Looked it up, did some research, consulted with our guys. I was like, you know what? This is up our alley. Let's do this. So I literally sat in front of my computer with my camera and just did like a 2 to 3 minute video basically explaining what Bearded Villains Miami does, why, I should be picked as one of the finalists. And then I put like a little montage together of past charity events that we've done for the past like 7 years. Submitted it and left it there. And then like a month and a half later, I received that email basically telling me that I'm up in the running for, I think it was the top 25. They choose 25s. There's different stages. So I cleared that first stage where they just basically see your video, they like what you do, and then they basically send you an email saying that you've made it to the top 25. And then after that, it's basically an interview. You sit down, I mean, you speak to someone on the phone, you basically tell them what you do, why you do it, your interest level, and from there, you know, it's in their hands. And yeah, I want to say about 3 weeks ago, I received that email saying that I was one of the top 5 finalists. And yeah, needless to say, I'm excited. Um, this is up our alley. It speaks Bearded Villains Miami through and through. It's given us an avenue to showcase to the world what we're about. And, you know, a lot of us, especially in BV, we tend to just stick to BV and just a brotherhood aspect of it. But I feel like this is touching a different, a different avenue, a different demographic. Yeah, a lot of us are, have facial hair and stuff like that that follow Wahl grooming. But at the end of the day, not a lot of us, there's a lot of people that don't know what Bearded Villains and what Bearded Villains Miami is about. So I feel like this is an opportunity to not only showcase our chapter, but also showcase the brotherhood.
Yeah, it's such a cool thing. And yeah, it's the perfect avenue to do that. Because it's not just filtering into this narrow scope of people that know Bearded Villains. It's a broad spectrum of people that are hearing about this. And, there's believe it or not, we sometimes don't like to imagine it, but there is a world of people that don't have full beards. There's a world of people that use Wahl's products to trim their head hair on the top of their hair or the top of their head. They trim their beard to shave it down. So it's a different group of people that you don't always get to see and get your name out in front of what the Miami Villains are all about.
It's definitely exciting. And like I said, this was right up our alley. It's something that I feel will be able to showcase to the world what we stand for in a different platform.
Yeah.
So it's definitely going to be a good reach.
Okay. Well, so I know one of the things that we can do is share and vote for you. Now, do you know where it stands right now? Is it 100% based on the vote, or do the people that did all the interviews and stuff have some input as well on the final result?
Yeah, so 40% of the I guess 40% comes from public voting.
Okay.
And then another 60% comes from the judging panel or the judging criteria. And they have a couple of criterias. Obviously, one, you have to have a beard. It has to be or groomed. And also, this is also an opportunity because what they'll do with the grand finalist, whoever wins, they'll come out to the city and throw an event together. Basically, they'll bring out a mobile barbershop.
Wow.
And for every haircut that they give, they'll donate $100 to our charity. So it's big. It's awesome. It's an opportunity to just continue to give back to the community.
Yeah. Well, look, we've got 4,500 guys around the world, and there's no limit that I've seen to who's allowed to vote for this thing. So if you have an internet, you should be able to vote for this thing. There's no reason that we should not be getting max distribution here on this number. I know this is not the biggest podcast in the world for sure, but through our immense, network of social medias out there that all of us 4,500 strong around the world have, we should be able to get word out to everybody that supports us and is a part of what we are about to hopefully get word out. Now, do you know when the voting ends?
It actually ends when I land in Chicago, August 5th.
Okay.
So,
all right. We got a couple weeks.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, we got a couple weeks to continue to push hard. And hopefully we'll get some great news in Chicago.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, it definitely would. That's one thing that I'm definitely looking forward to and hoping for the best.
Yeah. Well, man, I'm so excited I got to talk to you about this tonight. And I'm going to be I know I shared it with our chapter, and I know all of us in the chapter, as far as I know, have already voted. However, I want to make sure I share it on the page tonight when the podcast airs. You'll be able to see out there on my stories for the next 24 hours. I'm going to share it on my stories, and I'll also post it as a post. So the one thing I would encourage everybody that's listening to this right now is make sure you find it somewhere. If you're not sure where this vote link is, go to Miami's page, go to Ray's page, go to the Heart of a Villain page, someplace, and not only vote, but share it, please. Share it with everybody you know. Share it within your whole IG profile, your Twitter profile, whatever you've got. There's people out there that have 10 times the social media outreach that I do. So let's bring this thing home for Ray and for Miami Villains, and it should be an awesome thing.
Definitely. I appreciate everybody that's voted so far. I appreciate the opportunity to come on this podcast and, share my backstory on BV, because not a lot of people, see my face. Lately, the past 2 years, I've been trying to jump back in, but I appreciate it. Thank you for this opportunity.
Oh, man, it's my pleasure, Ray. I look forward to seeing you in Miami again next time, but sooner than that, I look forward to seeing you in Chicago. And, man, like I said, get out there and vote, boys and girls, and children of all ages, whoever you are, get out there and vote. Let's bring this thing home for them. Thanks so much for taking some time with me tonight, and good luck, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
I'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir.
All right, bye. All right. So Ray has an opportunity. Did you hear? That's a lot of money. And there's additional benefits that can come to the chapter as well. So, man, I mean, like I said in there, we have 4,500 guys worldwide. And as far as I know, anybody worldwide can vote for this thing. So we have a leg up hopefully on most of the people that are up for this thing. And we owe it to ourselves. We owe it to Miami. We owe it to everything that we are about to support a brother that has a chance to bring home a ton of money for his chapter. So it takes 2 clicks. Like I said, there's links not only on the Heart of a Villain story, but on Ray's personal IG and also on Miami, I believe. So no excuses, boys and girls. No excuses. Let's get out there and do some good. If you are looking for an all-natural beard oil that will not only tame your beard and coarse hairs, but make your beard soft and smell amazing, check out Pulpo Beard Oils. Veteran-owned and made for today's beards, Pulpo beard products combine the best beard ingredients on the market with incredible customer service to ensure your happiness. Whether you need beard wash, beard oil, beard balm, or some fun clothing, Pulpo is the place to go. Feel fresh, feel savage, feel confident with Pulpo Beard Oils. Go to Pulpo Beard Oils, that's Pulpo beardoils.com, and use the code The Heart of a Villain for a discount on your order. All right, so we're going to slide in to our calendar of events. There might be a couple things, hopefully not, but if there's anything that I missed, please reach out, send me a link, send me a something, so I can get the word out on what your event is. But let's just kick it off with this weekend. This weekend we have the Dawg Days of Summer. The Dawg Days of Summer, hosted by your North Georgia Bearded Villains. The meet and greet's on the 22nd, Beard Comp on the 23rd. We heard from JD talking about it. Help them out. Get down there. Have some fun with the North Georgia boys with the Dawg Days of Summer this weekend. Next weekend, if you're in the area of Central England, join the BV Central England boys with the Kingsbury Family Meet. The Kingsbury Family Meet, July 31st. Then we scroll nice and easy into August with the World Meet. The World Meet, August 5th through the 7th in Chicago. Your BBC boys, the Bearded Villains Chicago, are your hosts. We are looking forward to this. They keep leaking out information that just gets us more and more excited. It's going to be a blast. If you have any questions, just hit up the Chicago chapter, man. They will set you straight. Bearded Villains Chicago hosting the World Meet August 5th through the 7th. Then August 21st, the Blackshire boys. The Blackshire chapter is hosting a Blackshire family meet called Lamb Fest. That's right. They just got done with Ram Fest. Now they're having a much softer side event called Lamb Fest. It's at Clifton Park, Rotherham, and it's the Blackshire family meet called Lamb Fest, August 21st. Then into September we go. September 9th through the 11th, we have two different events going on in different parts of the U.S. One is the Battle of the Beards, hosted by the Southern Indiana Villains in Evansville, Indiana, September 9th through the 11th. They got a meet and greet on the 9th, a beard comp on the 10th. It is at the VFW Post 1114 in Evansville. There's 10 judged categories in the beard competition. They got a raffle, auction, all sorts of good stuff. September 9th through the 11th for Battle of the Beards. And if you can't make that one, or if your plans are closer to the Four Corners area of the United States, you do the math and figure it out, but I'll give you a hint. It's being hosted in Cortez, Colorado. That's one of them. Cortez, Colorado is where you want to go for the Four Corners meet. This is an outdoor adventure night, weekend type of thing. Brothers only, September 9th through the 11th. Everybody raves about this event, so get there. Have fun with it. Brothers only, Four Corners meet, September 9th through the 11th. Then later in September, we have the ECM, East Coast Meet in Baltimore, Maryland, hosted by the Southern Maryland boys, the SOMD tribe, those boys over there, and the Chesapeake Bay chapter. So the two of them coming together to bring you the East Coast Meets. It's at the power plant. All of the rooms and stuff are at the Hilton Baltimore Inner Harbor. September 23rd to the 25th for ECM. Then into October we go. October 14th and 15th is the Florida Summit. We got two different things this weekend, boys. Florida Summit, October 14th and 15th in Orlando, Florida. Gotta love the weather down there, right? Meet and greet on the 14th. They got a beard competition on the 15th. The Florida Summit in Orlando, October 14th and 15th. Also that same weekend in Alabama, the Rocket City boys are hosting the Rocket City Halloween Bash, October 15th. That is a Halloween costume contest and beard competition. It was a blast, I've heard from people who were there last year. Rocket City Halloween Bash, October 15th. And then the night of October 22nd. On October 22nd, there's two different events. One just recently popped up. These are also Halloween-themed events. October 22nd, the Utah boys, the Utah chapter, Utah Villains present Villains Night. Villains Night. October 22nd. It starts at 4 p.m. They've got a beard competition, costume contest, raffles, all sorts of good stuff there. Hit up the Utah Villains at utahvillains.org for further information on Villains Night, October 22nd. And then finally, October 22nd, my chapter here in Northern Indiana brings you the return of Ezra Crow. The return of Ezra Crow. It is our costume contest and beard competition. A blast it was last year. Raising money for the Ronald McDonald Houses, Northern Indiana. We not only raise money for them, but we take donations for them to use at the Ronald McDonald Houses for trick-or-treat items. It's an awesome event. October 22nd, Return of Ezra Crow, hosted by the Bearded Villains, Northern Indiana. Come one, come all. And that is my calendar of events for this July 21st, 2022. Well, guys, I want to say a special thank you to JD. Special thanks to Ray for talking to us today. Hopefully everybody has a good weekend moving forward. That World Meet's coming up quick. We got all sorts of stuff going on in BV land, boys and girls. So, hey, don't miss out. Don't miss out. But that's going to wrap up episode 144 of The Heart of a Villain. Remember, you can still buy shirts, patches, pins, all that good stuff at theheartofavillain.simplecast.com. Theheartofavillain.simplecast.com. That's where you can listen to all previous 143 of this here show. Some are definitely better than others. I want to challenge you guys, as I always do, to be the villain that the world needs you to be. Because the heart of a villain never stops beating. The most important words I say every week, guys, please remember them well. It is okay not to be okay. If you are hurting, please find a brother to talk to. Remember, it's okay not to be okay. So, guys, for now, have a great night and enjoy this weekend ahead. Be safe out there. I'll see you next Thursday night for episode 145 of this year's show. So, guys, take care. Stay safe.
From the start to the finish, go hard. Every winning is the heart.